Hey guys, Blue Kool-Aid here. I'm gonna give you guys a video. I haven't given you guys one here in a few days. I had some stuff really going on this past week. Those of you guys that are close to me kind of know what's going on. I'll just give everybody kind of a short version of it, just so you guys don't worry, or just some sort of explanation here. Um, my wife has been having back and hip issues for years, and she's been going to the chiropractor. So she went to her general practitioner, and he suggested getting X-rays just to make sure there wasn't any broken bones, things like that going on while she was getting adjusted. Um, the chiropractor had already done some X-rays at his office, but his X-ray machine was just for his use, just for diagnosis purposes and stuff like that. And they weren't as detailed as a regular um, X-ray would have been, like from the hospital or you know those kinds of facilities. But anyway, we got a call from the doctor, and he had seen some stuff on the X-ray that he didn't like, and he wanted us to come in. And so we got fairly worried at that time. So we go in there, and he explains to us that there was a couple spots on my wife's right hip that were not there in 2013. He was very concerned that it was possibly cancer. So you can imagine, how we felt at that point. It was, yeah, it was pretty nerve wracking. Um, you know, More so for me, I think, than my wife. Because if she's not here, I don't know that I want to be. Just to tell you the truth. But anyway, he didn't want to wait, so we got an MRI done the very next day, which kind of, all that stuff happening so fast really concerned me because they don't normally fast track that kind of thing. Usually that's at least a week long, procedure type of thing, waiting on the insurance to okay the MRI and things like that. Where there was no waiting in this, so it really concerned me because just really because of that and the way the doctor had spoken to us about the results from the X-rays and that we really needed to get this looked at. Um, anyway, long story short, she gets the MRI, obviously, and then we get the results back from it, and it was good news. It was everything was negative. It ended up being scar tissue that was in there that he thought, it looked very suspect, of small lesions or tumors or what have you. Um, I He kind of told me on the phone he was very surprised that it was not cancer. Um, and again, yeah, prayers help. Just letting you know, I was getting a lot of prayers in the background here. I didn't want to bring that out to everybody unless I kind of knew what was going on, so I could give you guys at least some sort of explanation, or just letting you know what's going on, why I haven't done videos in the past few days. But that's why. My head just was not in it. I actually sat down and tried to do one in the middle of the night, and I just could not even get my thoughts. I was just so freaking out about it. But anyway, that's the reason that happened. But there's been a lot of stuff going on here, in our research and stuff. There's a lot of things happening. So before I get into that, but my daughter is starting. She has started a YouTube channel. I'm gonna leave a link to it. I'd like you guys to do me a favor and go over and just sub up to it. You don't have to watch the content or anything like that. She's only got like 3 videos on it right now. It's K-pop stuff. Korean pop music. She's 12. She'll be 12 in February, and she's just trying to do something different. And she does reaction videos. And so if you guys have children, especially daughters or what have you, that like that kind of music, you might tip them off to the YouTube channel that it's called. I think she's gonna call it Gymnatic or something like that. It's like one of the names of the guys that's in this band. And I'm old now, so I'm not hip to all of it. But yeah, she's making a play on the guy's name, naming her channel after that. But if you would, just go over and throw a sub, like I said. You know, if you don't, that's fine too. Um, but yeah, I really like for you guys to do that just to kind of boost her up. She's had a pretty rough go of it here as of late herself, fighting with some other stuff. But anyway, that'd be good. You know, if you guys could do that for me. So we'll go ahead and jump into this real quick. I'm going to try to go through a lot of information. I made 2 videos already. I tried to upload it, and I uploaded it, but then it said it was untitled and it wouldn't go onto my videos. I think the algorithm here was stopping the stuff from going public, I guess you could say, on my channel. I don't know what I said or if I showed something I shouldn't have. I just don't know yet. So hopefully this one will work out. I'll change things up a little bit different. You know, I'll change the title just to try to get keywords out of there. I think that's what did it. I'm not for sure, but it just would not, no matter what I did. And I even had to go to the Creator Studio to be able to even delete it to access these videos. I couldn't even access it just straight from my page like I normally can. Couldn't edit it. It didn't even give me an option to delete. I actually had to go to the Creator Studio to be able to do that. And normally that's not the case. Normally you can, you know, delete from your page as long as you're logged in your name. But I'll try to keep these keywords out of there. But anyway, you know, we've been talking about the magnetic north, how it's split. You know, Maverick Reloaded, Mavstar Reloaded. I'm sorry. That is a great channel. Okay, guys. I mean, go check that out. That's what I did my video on. My last video I did. It was on their information and their research from the observatory that they use, and they're trying to get more observation stations set up, and you know they're trying to fund some of that kind of stuff. And you know they just recently started up a Patreon. If you guys are interested in doing that for them, you could go over and do that. After I did the video on that, you know, Seven Dwarves was the one that tipped me off to that. I would never even have seen it. I noticed that a lot of other channels picked up on it, and that was great. I'm not sure if they picked up on it from it doesn't matter where they picked up on it. Just the fact that they picked up on it is great. That's the whole goal. You know, we want all this information to get out, you know, and Oppenheimer Ranch grabbed a hold of it. Leak Project grabbed a hold of it. Rex over there. Dr. Albers did a paper on it, an article on what's going on as far as the poles splitting and, you know, how the core of the Earth affects it. And I'll leave links to all these guys down here in the description if it'll let me. I'm not sure what I said or did, but it just would not let me upload those videos. Anyway, so what we got going on here, we had a coronal hole that was Earth facing, and I've explained before, but we have to keep in mind the sun's 93 million miles away. Well, at least, you know, most of us believe that. There's some that don't, but, you know, and that's okay too. So anytime we get solar winds, you know, increased solar winds from a coronal hole, it takes it roughly 3 days to get here. So we got kind of, you know, a buffer zone there. When we see a coronal hole Earth facing, we kind of know stuff's coming. And some of the charts are predictive charts. They'll show, you know, when they expect higher solar winds, if a CME happens type of situation. You know, go over to planetxnews.org. You know, Scott's got links to all those. Just go to space. There's a link there. It says space weather. There's even a link there. It simply just says solar wind. So you guys can go check that stuff out. CME tracker is there also. It's real easy to go look at. Just keep in mind that most of that stuff is predictive as well as current. Usually it's like 2 or 3 days. It'll show 2 or 3 days in the past and then 2 or 3 days in the future, depending on when they update it. The shutdown that we got going on here in the country is going to start affecting what we see on these tools, because these are all taxpayer funded. Okay, so that means that the employees that are out of work right now, the 800,000 of them that are out of work, if it's not essential and it's not, safety of the country, they're not going to have these employees working on this stuff. Okay, so yeah, this whole shutdown thing could actually affect how we see stuff out there. Now, is that part of the goal here? I don't think so. That would even. I mean, it roughly. I guess it could have something. If there was actually something there that they were trying to keep us from seeing or what have you, and we think that there is, but for them to do something like that, I don't think that's what's going on right now. Just my opinion. It could be part of it, but it will start affecting how often they update these things. So, the longer it lasts, the more we're going to get behind on some of the images that we get to see. So, we'll just leave it at that. But anyway, like I said, we got solar winds coming at us right now. It's been about 3 days since that coronal hole was Earth facing. Kind of the beginning of it was Earth facing. So you're going to see when I play these here real quick that you're gonna notice it right away. So let's just go ahead and do it real quick. We'll hit play here, and like I said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and just grab the slide bar, I think, and just do it that way. It'll make it faster. You'll see it get from the right side. Okay, you see that? That right there. Whenever you see our bow shock out in the front bend like that, that means we're getting hit with some sort of solar wind or solar energy type situation, and we're seeing that a lot too, guys, right there. I will stop it right here. I'm going to show you guys something real quick, like is it going to let me do that or not? There it goes. Okay. I'm seeing these pole lines up here, guys, and they seem to be hanging out right here. Now, I just find it odd. Okay, and the reason why is because they seem to be stopping right there, and I got a graphic I'll show you here in a minute, but why is the southern pole line actually looping all the way around and going up here? That really, it's odd to me. And we've seen it before, but it's happening like very, very often right now. And you can even see two of them come from the southern pole, looping around right there. Now the northern one is even out of shape too, but they're both stopping right there. Yeah, we see some of them going way back here like we normally do, but these are the ones that are kind of out in the front that are kind of odd. It's just odd. It doesn't normally do that, and like I said, it's done it before. It's nothing to be like, oh gosh, something's like right there. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's something magnetically right there that is causing this to do this. Now, you seen all that right there, so I'll just go real slow. Whenever you see that kind of stuff, man, that's just total chaotic magnetic mess, electromagnetic mess. It's just, yeah. And that right there was caused by solar wind, okay? Because we know that that's coming right now. Now, some of the stuff that we've been experiencing the past week or so, or even 2 weeks, we've had an uptick, but we haven't seen an uptick in the solar winds very much. Or any of the differential, like the stuff that we see with like the CME tracker and stuff like that. We haven't really seen a big bump up in that, which leads me to think that we're leaning more towards a third magnet, which would be another celestial object out there that's causing some of this. Okay, because we can't blame it on the sun, is what I'm saying. Not all of it. Now, like I said, with our magnetic north splitting like it did, and I'll show another graphic on that here in a few minutes, but with our magnetic north splitting like that, it can have an effect on our whole magnetosphere too, okay? It's affecting, the polar jet streams. Escassion did a whole article on that, explaining all that, and it's good information. It's directly related to this split that we're seeing, okay? It's no coincidence that the polar jet stream split, and so did the magnetic north split roughly at the same time. You can't tell me that's a coincidence. It's got to be related in some way. Not to mention, I'll show you here when we get the graphic. I'll show you. I'm going to show you this here real quick. I didn't want to waste your guys' time on, trying to load all this stuff up, so I had it loaded You know, that's pretty strong winds right there, guys. I mean, whenever you see those big, deep colors, that's pretty strong stuff. Okay. And again, we've seen that before. It's not nothing to freak out about, but it is a reason why we see some of the magnetic disruption. But when we don't see those winds, and on our tools that we look at, you know, space weather tools that we do look at, when we don't see upticks in that, but we're still seeing magnetic disruptions, we got to ask ourselves, what in the heck is causing that? So I'll just do this one here too. Again, I mean, yeah, I mean, look at this. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just, that's massive solar winds hitting us right there. You can see it. Okay, coming from the right side, and then when you see that, all right. I mean, it's just, yeah, and that's how we're supposed to react when we get those big winds. It's, you know, deflecting. It's what it's supposed to do. But like I said, when we see that stuff happening and we're not noticing anything coming from the sun, we have to ask ourselves, what in the world is causing that, right? So, you know, and that's where we're kind of at with that. But I am going to show you this one right quick. Let's go ahead and see if I can grab this stupid thing. Okay. This one is acting, you know, you're going to see here on this tool also. Okay. You know, you're seeing big, you know, the big deep colors, and you start seeing this stuff bounce out in the front. Our bow shot gets hit, seeing it right there. Then we react on the backside, same time. Okay. And when you get up here, watch this, guys. I already watched this, obviously, but you see all that? Okay. You know, we're reacting right there to something. Okay, and it could be the solar winds hitting us right there. Now watch this part. This is really, it's actually kind of cool to look at. Watch out in the front here. You see that just kind of wave moving? See that? Okay. We've seen that before, and I showed it before, but it was just the light blue color. This time it was the green, so that's some pretty pretty strong stuff there, okay? And again, does our magnetic North Pole splitting like they have causing some of this? You know, I really have to think that it is. At least helping cause some of this. It's just my opinion. So, what we'll do is we'll go over here to the gallery, my picture gallery, and I'll show you what I've kind of, I did this already. I went ahead and put this together so you guys could see it. The pole lines, and it's what I'm trying to show here. These are different days, different times. Okay, so this is stuff that's been happening here in the past week or so. Again, pole line ended up right there. That was a southern pole line. It came over there. It wasn't a northern one. Now the northern one's up, you know, if you look up here, that's a northern one there. But it all seems to be trying to come back to that one spot. And even here's another southern line stopping right there. Okay. So is that something going on there? I think that it is. I don't know what's actually there causing that. You know, I don't think it's a huge planet or anything like that, because that would be extremely close. I don't know. You know, that's all out there to try to figure out right now how big stuff actually is and how close it is. There's a lot of different theories on it. You know, like I said, I believe that there's another magnet out there, another celestial body causing some of this. Now, the location of that, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure how close it is. You know, but I do know, after, you know, looking at this stuff, it's my opinion that we're being affected by another magnet other than the sun. It's another celestial body. Again, I'm just trying to show you here. These are different days. These are different hours, times. Okay, and what I'm showing here, guys, is, see this 40 mark right here? If you kind of keep that in mind, this is happening in the same spot. Okay, and this is why it drew my eye to it. Okay, not to mention it does look, you know, like a sphere, kind of, sorta. but it's in the same spot. All right, it's not the exact same shape, but it's always a disturbance right there in that spot. Okay, why? And we're seeing it over and over and over again right there. So, and again, back in 2000, if we looked at this 5 years ago, this would actually be kind of normal because the sun was way more healthy. We weren't in a minimum. We weren't having, the sun's sick. That's just a fact. Whether you believe it's completely dark yet or not, it doesn't matter to me right now. What I'm trying to say is that this right here is showing that why we're looking at this so hard right now is because when the sun doesn't have that much energy or is sick like it is, we shouldn't be seeing stuff like this as often. Okay, so when we do see it, it makes us look a little bit harder because we know that it's probably not coming from the sun. That doesn't mean the sun can't shoot energy at us like solar winds and stuff, because it is. But, this happened very, very often, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago when the sun was really healthy. Okay? You can go back, and I've showed pictures of this before and see how bright the sun used to be to even what it is now. All right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to... and I showed you guys this before. Okay, here's that picture from Maverick Star Reloaded. I think their webpage, I believe, is poleshiftnews.com. Anyway, I was looking at this and I was just trying to, I'm just thinking on it and seeing what I can, kind of make sense in my own mind. Again, I showed this earlier. This is pretty much the location of where magnetic north used to be. The way they have explained it is that is the weaker one right now, and the stronger one has pulled over towards Siberia. Okay? And our compasses are actually pointing where these two meet, right in the middle. Okay? That's just how it was explained, and it was explained very well, and he did a little experiment, showing the compass move here and there with 2 other magnets and stuff like that. And I showed that in my previous video, but you guys should go watch his too. He explains it way better than I can. Now, what I've noticed and what really drew my eye for some reason was the distance between the northern pole and the southern pole over here, where it's like the stronger part, is only that far, and then over here it's a lot further. I mean, so it's like the degree we're looking at is 40 degrees. Okay, once it gets there, and we're about 300 miles from it, and currently it's moving at 55 kilometers a year. All right, that's why they had to go back up there to find magnetic north, and they're doing that earlier than what they thought because they've noticed that it was moving faster. Well, it's not only moving faster, is now we know by looking at this, after this data has come out, that it's actually split. So not only is it moving, one of the stronger ones moving, but it actually split into 2 different ones. So it's gonna, and again, that goes right into the polar jet streams split, and it has everything to do with that too. The core of the Earth is what pretty much generates our magnetic field. So, it stands to reason that the core could be having some issues also. And Dr. Albers did an article on it, and you guys should really go, check that out too. So, like I said, guys, I mean, that's just what I'm getting from this. And, I haven't did a video here in a while, like I said, because of issues here. But that's just what I noticed. I really wanted to put this out a couple days ago. And I'm just glad that the other channels really actually picked up on this too. Because I didn't want to let this just fall to the wayside and just like discount this like it ain't nothing. Because this is really something to look at. Okay, we got to pay attention to this. And anybody that can, go over, like I said, go over to the Maverick Star Reloaded channel, and if you can, become a Patreon over there or what have you, because they're trying to get money to set up other stations. Go watch a couple of his videos, and he'll explain it a lot better than I can. What their goals are. It's very good information. But yeah. So, next thing I want to show you here, guys, you know, like I said, I showed you all the chaotic mess, okay? There it is. It is what it is. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about that. Now, what I'm going to show you here is we're going to go over to the LASCO C2, okay? And it hasn't updated here for a couple days. But I noticed something on the 18th I thought was very interesting. I really wanted to show it to you guys. Okay, I'm going to slow this down. And what it is you'll see a glitch. Don't worry about that glitch. That happens when it gets too much light or too much energy around the satellite. You know, sometimes it exposes stuff that's out there, but not always. But what I want you guys to look at, and I'm going to pause it, okay? I want you guys to look in here, okay? When I push play, you're going to see a white flash right around here, right? Then you're going to see a dark area, which is energy, and it's actually going to go against the grain of what the sun, the rest of the energy coming off of the sun is. This stuff's going to go back towards the sun. So that should say something to you. It'd be like, you know, because this stuff should be going away from the sun, not to it, as far as the energy and in the stuff like flares and CMEs or what have you coming off of the sun. So I'm going to go ahead and start this. And again, I'll zoom in. Just watch this, okay? I know it's moving slow, but I want you guys to see this, okay? There's the white flash, and you're going to see this black signature pop up here in a second, okay? Now, here it comes. It's right about there. All right. I know it's slow. I'm sorry, but I really want you guys. There's the flash. It got dark there. Now watch this. See that? That went directly, and it almost like it stopped like right there and went around some sort of object. I don't know if there's an object there or not, but man, that's sure as heck what it looks like. I'm going to speed that up just so you guys get a better, because sometimes you can see it better when it's faster. It gives you a better idea. Okay, here it comes. There's the flash, the dark, and then boom. See that shoot back towards the sun? Now, I've seen this before, and I showed it. It was kind of like a whiplash action type of situation. I don't know if that energy actually generated from the sun, and then it didn't make it out of the reach of the sun, and it kind of sucked it back in, or if this actually generated, if this energy came from something other than the sun, and it went towards it. Those are the possibilities. All I know is there was some energy that went back towards the sun right there. Whether it generated from the sun or from something else that was out here that we just can't see or what have you. But man, it sure as heck, it looks like it's something. Again, yeah. Do I know what that something is? Of course I don't. But I think it's a valid observation there. And again, you guys go look at it for yourself. You know, I've given you guys, you know, avenues here and links and pointed you guys the right direction here. And I see a lot of you guys are starting up channels, and I really, really love that. You know, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Okay, just get out there. We got to start talking about this more often. Even when we make mistakes, we got to just keep talking. But anyway, guys, I think I am going to end it right there. Hope it lets me upload this one. But just do Blue Kool-Aid a favor and go over and sub to his daughter's channel, would you please? I'll leave a link down there. It would really make her day. She's been having a rough time, and she's just trying to, you know, stay positive herself. And you know, she's 12 years old, and she deserves a little break once in a while. And I'm trying to help her out there. So if you could do Blue Kool-Aid a favor, just go over and click a sub. You ain't gotta watch the content. You know, maybe you want to, or maybe your kids want to check it out. And like I said, she's only got a few videos, like 2 or 3, and she's going to start making more of them. She just wants something to do and be a part of something. And, you know, obviously I love her. She's my daughter, and she has my heart. So, I'm just trying to help her. Anyway, guys, God bless. Yeshua saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.